Poems. Instead of resisting to changes, surrender. Let life be with you, not against you. If you think my life will be upside down, don't worry. How do you know down is not better than upside? A life without love is of no account. Don't ask yourself what kind of love you should seek, spiritual or material, divine or mundane, Eastern or Western. Divisions only lead to more divisions. Love has no labels, no definitions. It is what is pure and simple. Love is the water of life, and a lover is the soul of fire. The universe turns differently when fire loves water. The universe is a complete, unique entity. Everything and everyone is bound together with some invisible strings. Do not break anyone's heart. Do not look down or on weaker than you. One's sorrows at the other side of the world can make the entire world suffer. One's happiness can make the entire world smile. Don't search for heavens and hell in the future. Both are now present. Whatever we manage to love without expectation, calculations, negotiations, we are indeed in heaven. Whenever we fight hate, we are in hell. A good man complains of no one. He does not look to faults. The world is like a mountain. Your echo depends on you. If you scream good things, the world will give it back. If you scream bad things, the world will give it back. Even if you say loudly about you, speak well about him. Change your heart to change the world. Most of conflicts and tensions are due to language. Don't pay so much attention to the words. In love's country, language doesn't have its place. Love's mute. Don't judge the way other people connect to God. To each his own way and his own prayer. God does not take us at our word. He looks deep into our hearts. It is not the ceremonies or ritual that makes a difference, but whether our hearts are sufficient, pure, or not. The summary of all the advice of all prophets is this: find yourself a mirror. The whole universe is summed up in the human being. Devil is not a monster waiting to trap us. He is a voice inside. Look for the devil in yourself, not in the others. Don't forget that the one who knows his devil knows his God. It is pointless trying to know where the way leads. Think only about your first step. The rest will come. Every breath is a chance to reborn spiritually, but to reborn into a new life, you have to die before dying. The real dirt is not outside, but inside in our hearts. We can wash all stains with water. The only way we can't remove is the grudge and the bad intentions sticking to our hearts. Surrender is not a weakness. At the contrary, it is strength. The surrender stops living in boiling water and starts living in a secure place. Story. The sudden and total disappearance of Maulana aroused resentment among his disciples and students. Some of them became highly critical of Hazrat Shams, even threatening him. They believed Hazrat Shams had ruined their spiritual circle and prevented them from listening to Maulana's sermons. In March of 1246, he left Konya and went to Syria without warning. After he left, Maulana was grief-stricken, secluding himself even more rather than engaging with his disciples and students. He was without a doubt furious with them. Realizing the error of their ways, they reportedly repented before Malawana. Some months later, news arrived that Hazrat Shams has been seen in Damascus, and a letter was sent to him with apologizing for the behavior of these disciples. Hazrat Sultan Walad and a search party was sent to Damascus to invite him back, and in April 1247 he made his return. During the return journey, he invited Hazrat Sultan Walad to ride on horseback, although he declined, choosing instead to walk alongside him, explaining that as a servant he could not ride in the presence of such a king. Hazrat Shams was received back with joyous celebration, and Soma ceremonies being held for several days, and all those that had showed him resentment tearfully asked for his forgiveness. He reserved special praise for Hazrat Sultan Walad for his selflessness, which greatly pleased Maulana. As he originally had no intention to return to Kona, he most likely would have not returned if Hazrat Sultan Walad had not himself gone to Damascus in search of him. After return, he and Maulana Rumi returned to their intense discussions. Referring to the disciples, Hazrat Shams narrated that their newfound love for him was motivated only by desperation. They felt jealous because they supposed if he were not here, Maulana would be happy with us. Now that I'm back, he belongs to all. They gave it a try, and things got worse, and they got no consolation from Maulana. They lost even what they had, so even the enmity against Shams they had swirled in their heads disappeared, and now they are happy, and they show me honor and pray for me. Referring to his absence, he explained that he left for the sake of Maulana Rumi's development. I go away 50 times for your betterment. My going away is all for the sake of your development. Otherwise, it makes no difference to me whether I'm in Anatolia or Syria, at the Kaaba, or in Istanbul, except, of course, that separation matures and refines you. After a while, by the end of 1247, he was married in Kima, a young woman who had grown up in Maulana Rumi's household. Sadly, Kima did not live after the marriage and passed away, falling ill after a stroll in the garden. No matter what people call you, you are just who you are. Keep to this truth. You must ask yourself how it is that you want to live your life. We live and we die. This is the truth, and that we can only face alone. No one can help us. So consider carefully what prevents you from living the way you want to live your life.